Get ready with me as I wind down for the evening. So today was a good day. I went to church, and the message, the morning service and the afternoon service, they were absolutely amazing. Kind of left me in some tears. The first message was about like the definition of love. And we know there's like various types of love, and the pastor talked about the eros love, which is like the romantic love, the filial love, which is like friendship love, the stagos love, I believe that's like the love that you have for your family, and then you have the agape love, is the love that Jesus has for us. And you know, when we tell people, oh, I love you, but do you know all love generally? Because God is love, so us humans, we don't naturally have that agape type of love in us. And the only way that we can have that type of love is to be connected to the source of love. Now, I knew that, but for some reason, it just hit me so hard today. And you know, it talks about the two greatest commandments: to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and then to love your neighbor as yourself. Well, you're unable to do that. Well, we are unable to do that, again, unless we connect to the source of love, so that we can love God supremely, and then to be able to love our fellow men. Hence why we have all the bad things that are happening in the world today, because a lot of people don't show love because they don't know how to show love or express love, because they're not connected to the source of love. And then this afternoon's message was talking about the trials and tribulations that we go through. Now, whether you're a Christian or whether you're not a Christian, because we live in this sinful world, we're all going to encounter trials and tribulations. However, as a Christian, when you go through the trials and tribulations, you know, God is there for us. Well, he's there for the person who's not a Christian, because he's always trying to win everybody. But as long as we live on this earth, we are going to encounter it in some shape, form, or fashion. And as I was listening to the message, it made me reflect back on when I first became a Christian. When I first became a Christian, I thought that, you know, as long as I followed Christ, everything would go perfect. You know, I would pray all the time, and I just thought that nothing would go wrong. Well, I hadn't studied the scriptures all like that to know. So when I would pray to God about certain things, certain events, things that I wanted, and it didn't come to fruition, I was like, you know, what's going on? I'm like, Lord, I'm doing all that you've called me to do. How come I'm not getting my prayer answered? Now, mind you, I was a baby Christian, so I didn't really understand that God will answer our prayers, but it may not be in the way that we want them, because he knows what's best for us. But there were three main prayers that I had prayed to God about. And I had prayed for them, for these three things, for years. I would say 4 or 5 years. And at the time, I was willing to be patient for him to answer it, because I'm like, oh, Lord, you don't have to answer it right now, just whenever you're ready, because, you know, I'm in college, and, you know, I'm trying to work towards to get my degree. I can wait. Well, upon me graduating, so many things had taken place. I lost my niece, who was like a daughter to me. A relationship that I was hoping that would materialize didn't. It fizzled out. The Lord moved me 3,000 miles away from my family, and I was like so traumatized. I was devastated. But the message that they were talking about today is like, when you are a Christian, you know, God will, the Bible tells us we're going to go through hard times. And so how are we going to respond to those hard times? Let me tell you, I didn't respond to them very well at all. I boo-hooed, I cried to the Lord, and I was like, you don't love me, I can't believe this. And, you know, I was like teeter-tottering on my walk with God. Again, baby Christian. But in that, I didn't, oh my gosh, in that I went through such a depression during that time. And, but I didn't think I would be able to make it through, to be honest with you. Now, I know people have gone through a lot worse than me, but for me, those three major things that I prayed for, and I didn't get them, those were like very heart-wrenching for me. And I want to say, gosh, for about 4, 5, 6 years, I just went through it. I was going through the motions. I was waking up in the morning. I was having my devotions, but it was mechanical. You know, it wasn't like I was doing it because, oh, Lord, I love you, because I was very angry with him. And the Lord had to reveal to me, he's like, Tiffany, he's like, you're not coming to me in the right spirit. He was like, you're very angry with me. And he's like, let us reason together. Let me walk with you through this. And I didn't allow him to. But in time, as I got tired of being sad and upset and depressed and mad, I was like, Lord, what do you want? What do you want from me? And from that point, he revealed in time the plan. Like he didn't come out and say, well, this is what I want you to do, but he revealed in time the hidden abilities and the hidden talents that I had that he wanted me to use for his glory. And if he would have answered those prayers that I had prayed to him the way that I wanted him to, he would not have been able to maximize the skills and the abilities and talents that were hidden that I didn't know that I had. And so I say this: when we go through trials, whether we create them ourselves and we suffer the consequences for them, or we may be doing the right thing and we may not get what we think we want, just know that God is using those trials to help build our characters. And there are times that when we don't allow God to work in and through us, we find ourselves struggling, and sometimes we're in the trial a lot longer than we need to be because we're not learning from it. And that's where I was. But know that God has an expected end. He knows what's best for us. And so if we cannot be disappointed and trust that God knows us better than we know ourselves, that he has an ultimate end for us, and he wants us to bring his name, honor, and glory to those people who are in our sphere of influence. So now that I look back, I'm like, you know what, Lord? And I still have questions, but I'm not in the same negative mindset that I was in. I've accepted it. And so now I pray, I'm like, okay, Lord, the next trial that I go through or trials that I go through, please give me strength to hold on, because I didn't think I could hold on then. But this Christian journey ain't for the weak. But Christ says he'll never leave us. He'll never forsake us. He'll be there with us through the end. And even when we're disappointed, we can go to him and he'll comfort us. He'll strengthen us. And I'm so thankful for that. So I encourage you, no